Darling, listen closely for a moment, because this is the part of your life where everything begins to shift. Not because the world suddenly became easier, but because you finally stopped chasing what was never running toward you in the first place. You didn't stop because you were weak. You stopped because you were exhausted from carrying conversations that went nowhere. You stopped because you got tired of being the only one who cared. You stopped because your heart finally whispered, "This isn't love. This is self-betrayal." And for the first time in a long time, you listened. People don't talk about this enough. A woman doesn't break when someone leaves. She breaks when she stays, longer than she should have. She breaks when she keeps giving chances to someone who never deserved the first one. She breaks when she explains the same feelings, the same boundaries, the same wounds, to someone who refuses to understand. But here's the beautiful part. Your heart has a brilliant memory. It remembers every time you were treated with kindness. It remembers how peace felt, even if you forgot for a while. And eventually, the heart gets tired of chaos. It begins to crave the version of you that you abandoned while loving the wrong person. That's why you stopped texting first. Not as a strategy, not as a game, but because your nervous system finally demanded safety. Because every unread message was triggering your stress response. Because your body learned slowly, painfully, that inconsistency is not passion. It's emotional starvation. You started to understand something powerful. You were not meant to be the one who holds everything together. You were not meant to beg for the bare minimum. You were not meant to chase someone who runs only when you walk away. And the moment you stopped, you didn't just walk away from a person. You walked away from a pattern, from a cycle, from a version of you that believed she had to earn love by suffering. That version of you is gone now. And what remains is a woman who finally understands her worth. Sweetheart, do you notice what started happening after you stopped chasing? Your mind became quieter. Your sleep became deeper. Your heart stopped waiting for a message that never came. And suddenly, you realized how heavy your hope had become. Hope shouldn't hurt. Hope shouldn't make your stomach twist. Hope shouldn't feel like walking on glass. You were not asking for too much. You were asking the wrong person. Because a woman like you, with a heart like yours, doesn't need to be convinced. She needs to be met, matched, chosen. And you finally understood that love isn't proven through suffering. Love isn't earned through silence. Love isn't built on anxiety disguised as butterflies. When you stopped chasing, you gave your nervous system a chance to breathe, to reset, to heal. People forget that the female body is deeply intuitive. Your chest tightens when something is wrong. Your energy drops around the wrong people. Your body remembers what your mind tries to excuse. It always knew the truth. You deserved more. Much more. And when you walked away, you did something incredibly brave. You broke a generational pattern. You stopped repeating what you grew up seeing. You stopped accepting the love you were taught to tolerate. You chose yourself. And darling, self-love is not soft. It is fierce. It is wild. It is the moment a woman looks at her life and whispers, "No more, no more begging, no more shrinking, no more hoping someone eventually wakes up and sees her." You became your own wake-up call. You didn't just stop chasing a person. You stopped chasing potential. You stopped falling for almost. You stopped holding on to maybes. And slowly, beautifully, your standards rose. You now want consistency. You want calm. You want communication that doesn't confuse your heart. You want someone who chooses you without hesitation, not someone who remembers your worth only when you pull away. And that shift, that silent internal shift, is the beginning of a completely new chapter in your life. Beautiful. This is the part where you rise. Not loudly, not angrily, but gracefully, quietly, powerfully. When a woman stops chasing, She begins attracting, because the energy she used to pour into the wrong places finally returns home, back into her mind, back into her body, back into her soul. You started taking care of yourself again. You started focusing on your dreams again. You started remembering who you were before life muted your voice, before love drained your spirit, before someone taught you to settle. And day by day, your glow returned. Not the glow from makeup, not the glow from attention, but the glow that comes from inner peace. People noticed. They always do. Because when a woman chooses herself, the world feels it. Your aura changed. Your tone softened. Your steps became lighter. Your boundaries became firm but loving. You became the woman your younger self needed. And here's the magic. You didn't need closure. You became your own closure. You didn't need an apology. You learned that healing is the apology. You didn't need them to understand. You finally understood yourself. And now, you're no longer afraid of losing people. Because you realize something deeply empowering. Losing someone who cannot love you is not a loss. It is protection. You stopped chasing because you finally remembered who you are. A woman with a soft heart and a strong spine. A woman who loves deeply, but refuses to abandon herself again. A woman who walked through heartbreak and still chose hope, still chose healing, still chose herself. And darling, this is only the beginning. Your life is opening in ways you can't even imagine yet. Your peace is becoming your new normal. Your standards are becoming your shield. Your intuition is becoming your guide. You didn't lose anything. You found yourself.